Hey everyone, Randy here from Lion Desk. I just wanted to thank you guys all for spending the time with us today. I know that we're going to max out this webinar today, but we will be recording this and we're going to send it out to everybody as well. So yeah, thank you. Today is pretty exciting. We have special guest Travis Thom, the founder of Elevated RE, or Elevated Marketing RE, Facebook specialist. Before we get going, a couple things. For those of you who have other tabs open, close them, put your phones away. We're going to get through this as quickly as possible for you. It should take about 45 minutes to an hour. Turn your phones on silent, grab a pen, paper, notes, whatever it is. We're going to get through a lot of stuff. The other thing is we want you guys to engage with us and we want questions from you. We're going to try to leave some time at the end of today's webinar to kind of go over some additional Q&A type of stuff. And today's webinar, we're going to be talking about lead generation, utilizing Facebook to do that. And from there, sorry about that. And from there, how to convert leads faster, okay? So that's what we're gonna cover in today's webinar. Travis, if you wanna give a little backstory, I know that you are actually involved with Facebook as well, which is a huge advantage, I think, to have the insider track to kind of what's going on. So why don't you kind of go through it, and then we're gonna start with you, and then we'll get into the other stuff after that. Everybody, Travis Thom.
Hey everyone, I'm Travis Thom. I'm a Facebook marketing strategist, the founder of Elevated Real Estate Marketing. We are a Facebook advertising agency. We run campaigns for brokerages, teams, agents, title companies, mortgage companies. And then also we have a Facebook training and coaching program where we take everything that we do inside of our agency and we teach people around the globe what we do. So in our short run of being a Facebook marketing agency for the past, I guess, 3 years, we've generated over 50,000 leads. We are international, so we're generating leads in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, and throughout the U.S. So we get to see all this data and where things are coming from. So I'm excited to share some of the things that we've learned and do a deep dive for you guys into Facebook marketing for real estate and see what we can come up with here for you.
So Travis, I got one question that I want to talk about right now. And, Facebook obviously has a lot of attention right now. That's where the consumers are. In your eyes, I mean, there's a lot of different places people can go to generate leads, right? You can go and buy leads, and you can do PPC. And over the years, I've seen, Google PPC really go up in price as far as like what that cost is, as competition is there, as some of these other platforms, right, are upping those bids. Do you think that Facebook right now is one of the best places to generate low cost leads? And if so, right, like, do you see any other opportunity in the social media, area as far as lead gen?
I think it is one of the best places to generate leads, not just at a lower cost, but specifically for the massive amount of data that Facebook has on everyone. So, Facebook is definitely more of a discovery platform, but Facebook's data that they have on each individual user, and Facebook typically knows and can predict what your buying habits are going to be as a consumer before you even know it, right? So they're predicting, 5-6 months out that you're going to take this next step to buy this house, or that you are just starting on your search. So with all of that data, it is a lower cost per lead. But there's also kind of a higher quality with the actual data that you have. And there's so many diverse options, right? To being able to take the Facebook ad manager, the platform, and really dive deep into who you really want to go after in each specific life stage and niche. But there's so many different things, from Facebook lead ads to Facebook Marketplace, which is the place people are generating like hundreds of leads in just a few days. It's been pretty incredible to kind of see what's happening there. So there's so many different avenues and different strategies that you can deploy inside of Facebook, which makes it a great platform for everyone to really be able to exercise their different skill sets and strengths from just starting out to advanced, versus where other advertising platforms, you're kind of pigeonholed into one avenue, and you're really betting on the search intent. There's definitely higher cost. So when you look at all the different types of places, like the big lead generating kind of companies, some people are paying $100 per lead. Some people are paying $75 per lead. There's a client that we talked to recently that was spending $65,000 a month on, I believe, Realtor.com, and they're taking that money and putting it all into Facebook. So when we hear something like that, when someone's actually dedicating that large of a budget, $65,000 a month, and dumping it straight into Facebook, and they're really abandoning all the other types of lead generation sources, these are heavy players, and it kind of gives you, as a key point indicator of where you should go, right, and what direction and why. So there's some big things that are shaken down and happening inside of the Facebook ad manager, and excited to kind of touch on some of the key things like Facebook lead ads for you guys and go into that.
Cool. All right, I'm going to give you the presenter mode, and you can take it away.
All right, let's see here. Let me know if you guys can see my screen okay.
I can see it.
All right. Perfect. There we go. Okay. Just making sure. Can you see it still?
Oh, yeah. We're good.
All right. All right. So as Randy mentioned, I'm Travis Thom, and we're going to go over a few different things for you guys today. The Facebook lead ads is kind of one of our key things, but one of the things we wanted to talk about, share with you guys, Randy and I were talking about this a couple of days ago, which is that some of the changes that Facebook has made recently, one of the biggest ones, is that the algorithm has been changed where organic reach is pretty much dead. So organic reach is, well, it was a good opportunity for a lot of people with basic business pages to post and be able to share that with people that liked their page, right, their fan base. But over the past few months, Facebook has started to really take a look at how the Facebook newsfeed has been functioning for the user base. And they really want to protect the user experience. So they have limited the organic reach for a lot of the business pages, specifically because they wanted more quality engagement from family and friends. Now, that's one part to it. The other part is that there is not a lot of inventory in the ad platform. So there's over 1,500 different stories competing to show up in your Facebook newsfeed every day. But there's only about 300 of those stories that actually make it. Advertisers, organic posts, friends, family. And inside of there, then Facebook needs to make sure that there's a fine balance between your user experience and then being able to get more advertisers in there to show the right ads. So they're freeing up the space by starting to take away organic reach and saying, you know what, if you're going to post on your business page, it's not going to really be shown to a lot of people, right? It might only be shown to just maybe 15, 25 people. My wife actually, earlier this week, she was scrolling on Facebook and she saw a organic post from a theater company here called Pope Joy for the show that was happening that night, Stomp. And it said the first 4 callers will win these tickets. Well, she looked at the post and it was posted about 23 minutes earlier. Now, in 2008, that would have sold out immediately. Well, she called and she won the tickets. Which was kind of proof, like, she was kind of like, well, if I call, it's been 23 minutes, for sure, they're probably sold out. But the organic reach was so slow, right, so limited, that only showed to just a handful of people. So organic reach, now that it's gone, it's not necessarily the worst thing ever. It's actually an opportunity. And how do we turn something like this into an opportunity? Well, a lot of people are starting to take to Facebook Live. Facebook Live generates 10 times the number of interactions and comments than any other videos. So if you are having an open house, or you are walking through a house that's being staged, some of the things that you're doing with your clients, walking through a community, showcasing it, take the opportunity to turn it into a Facebook Live. This is a great way to get interaction, get comments, and really be able to start to make more of a heavier presence than you were for just organic posts. Now, another avenue is dedicating a budget to your business page posts. And so this is PPE, which is a page post engagement. Now, with this, there's kind of some limitations behind that. With page post engagements, Facebook optimizes post, and if you boost post, they optimize it for comments, likes, and shares, right? For engagement, not for a higher click-through rate, not for lead generation, purely just for engagement. So there's a third option, which is really focusing on then lead generation. And for everyone in real estate, right, that's kind of the number thing they want to do is focus on generating a large amount of leads. So that's where we're going to talk about is Facebook lead ads, Facebook lead generation. But before we go into that, I want to share with you guys what makes a good ad, right?
So Travis, yeah. before you go into that, right, the organic reach that you're talking about, so that's why, like, if you have 1,000 friends, you only see like 13 of them. I mean, I remember back in the day that you used to see everybody's stuff. Like, how far do you think that Facebook is going to take it where it becomes too much ad, right? Yeah. I mean, or is that part of their algorithm to always have a happy medium between, because people go to social media for typically 3 reasons, right? Like education, entertainment, and right. Connection, right? So, like, are they or are you worried about there being not enough because not enough reach, or is that only on the business side?
That's really only on the business side.
Okay.
So in Facebook, they can change the frequency of how many ads are shown to each person, right? And as advertisers, we can do that as well. But on a massive kind of God view scale, they have that. They have those tools in the back end to say we're going to tweak the frequency about how many ads are shown to these different people. Now, the Facebook newsfeed, there's over 10,000 different variations of the Facebook newsfeed going on almost every day. So everyone's Facebook newsfeed is completely different, right, than yours, than mine, than whoever's. So it's it's based on your interaction behaviors and habits and the things that you're doing. But Facebook values the consumer experience, which is us as Facebook users, more than anything else, because that if it's free, you're the product, right? So as Facebook users, we are the product. So they want to make us happy, they want to make us engage and stay there. So what they're really trying to focus on is trying to fight fake news. They're trying to fight anything that might be that would make people angry and not want to stay. So if we think back to all the fake news and kind of the hoopla around that, that was part of the Facebook algorithm change. So not so much about friends and engaging with those people, but more about business posts and limiting that. So it forces more people to go into the ad manager, but it also frees up more room in the inventory in the Facebook newsfeed for people to engage and talk to each other. So what makes a good ad? Well, we need to create an ad that is going to be clickable, right? Create what we call a thumb stopper, something that people really want to click on, because click-through rates is something that we really focus on, a key metric for a successful campaign. But before I dive into that, we need to talk about the Facebook algorithm, and known as BEAR. So think of the big hungry bear. That is the Facebook algorithm. BEAR stands for bidding, expected action, and relevancy. So this is how Facebook views their the total value for each ad. So they rank ads based on this formula. And this is just a snapshot from Facebook about how they actually create this formula and look at each ad. So we start with bidding. Bidding is based on, well, what you're going to spend per day for the audience that you're targeting. So let's say you've created an audience, you have 150,000 people in that audience, and you're going to bid $10 a day to the 150,000 people. Well, Facebook's ad auction, because Facebook is an auction and bidding system, so it's a blind auction. So when you launch your campaign, you're essentially bidding in this blind auction saying that I'm going to bid $10 a day to the 150,000 people that are in here. Well, there's also maybe 25 to 50 other advertisers, maybe Nike, Coca-Cola, maybe a roofing company, a couple of real estate agents right in your area that are also competing for the similar audience or an overlap of your audience. Now, some of them might be spending $5 a day or $50 a day to that same audience. Facebook's going to find the kind of medium and the balance in that blind auction, and then you may win or you may lose some of those auctions. The auction process goes on pretty much every day. And so hour by hour, you're entering into these different ad auctions in different placements to show up in the Facebook mobile newsfeed or to show up in Instagram. And Facebook takes that and goes, okay, what are they actually bidding for, right? And how much are they bidding? So kind of a golden rule of thumb here is that we say you should be bidding $10 a day per 100,000 people. It's kind of a good rule of thumb there, give or take some. So you can outbid your audience by doing manual bidding. That's a little more of an advanced strategy. We won't get too deep into some of those things today. But estimated action rates, right? That's the other part of the algorithm. Now, estimated action rates is taking how is the audience, how likely are they to engage with your ad based on the ad targeting that you've structured. Now, this is from data that Facebook has aggregated from 600 different touch points. Facebook takes this data from your habits online, so your browsing habits, right? When you go to look for, let's say, a vacation, you're starting to plan a vacation to Maui. It will then start to indicate to Facebook, all right, this person's now looking at traveling, and it's going to serve that back to the ad manager as interest, and then you might start seeing ads, right, about traveling or about Maui or the best places to stay. So all this data is taken from Facebook Messenger, your phone conversations, keywords that you're using in certain comments when you're talking in Facebook Messenger or when you're talking to people inside of a group, your emails, right, browsing habits, your geolocation, all of those things are taken into account and fed into Facebook. Then
That's
relevance,
crazy,
right? It's it's a little bit creepy. It's a little bit Big Brother, but as a Facebook marketer, it's pure gold. You can really laser it down. So, for instance, like relevancy, how relevant is an ad to someone? Now, if it's not relevant to them, people get annoyed, right? So, for instance, I saw an ad that was hyper relevant to me a couple weeks ago. It said, why are 36-year-old men investing heavily in gold? So that was hyper relevant. I'm 36, I'm male, and investing in gold and some of those things is of interest to me. And that's all based on things I've done online. Now, it's hyper relevant to me, right? It's really hyper relevant. If an ad is not relevant to someone, they'll go, and you've probably done this before, you'll click on the upper right side of an ad and say, I don't want to see this ad, or hide this ad from me. What that does is that creates what's called a negative impact score. That negative impact score feeds directly into your Facebook ad manager, and then it starts to really kind of cramp, or stall your campaign. You have a relevance score based from 1 to 10 on your campaigns. 1 being like it's not relevant at all, people don't like it. 10 being is absolutely perfect, it's hyper relevant, people are really engaging with your ad, it's doing really well. So if the negative impact score starts to get really high, more and more people say, I don't want to see this ad, then your negative feedback score hurts your relevance score. And your relevance score will go from like a 10 to an 8 to a 4 to a 3. The lower it goes, the higher cost per click, the higher cost per lead, the higher cost per action in general. And your reach on the ad will really start to die down. So you'll see it start to take a dive. And then Facebook is basically saying, we're not going to show your ad to people anymore, or we're going to really limit the reach of showing your ad to people because it's not relevant. So you need to make sure that you have a hyper relevant ad, that it provides quality for a good consumer experience, and that your targeting is on point, and that you're bidding correctly. So we kind of just went over those, but a few different things there. Bidding, how many auctions are you going to win? So your ad will be shown to those people. And then how likely are those people set up in your targeting to take action based on previous data? Previous data meaning Facebook has all the data on all the different ads and all the different actions each user has taken, right? Because they're constantly building these personas of each individual person. And then relevant score. So how do we create an ad that is engaging, that is sexy, that's going to get people to click on it and get them to take that next step? So we use in our ad agency, we use a formula called ADIA: attention, interest, desire, and action. So attention, you need to have a colorful, beautiful photo that really captures their attention, right? Draws them in. Interest, we're using just listed as our main headline. We're using a few different emojis here to get a little bit of a higher click-through rate. And we're doing this because we're trying to create what we call a thumb stopper. And we call it a thumb stopper because typically about 90% of the leads that we generate are on mobile, not on desktop. And if you think about this, everyone's on their mobile phone, but also you need to compete with the thumb, right? People scroll through, and this is the actual data from Facebook. People scroll through on their mobile phone almost twice as fast they do than on desktop, right? They're consuming this content. They're digital snacking. So we need to make sure that it stands out, that there's little things that either humanize it or make it pop. So we have then desire. So we're holding back the photos. And National Association of Realtors, right? They have a study that they go into about photos are like the key thing that consumers really want to see. So we need to understand what to hold back and what to use in position as a lead magnet. So we're building desire and then action. Consumer acquisitions, there's a company that researched over 100,000 Facebook ads. And Facebook actually just announced some of this data that they've done on their own as well, where they actually hooked up goggles to people's eyes and they saw different ads and they tracked their eyes about where they went. Well, they realized that an ad image is responsible for the 90% of the campaign's performance. 90% responsible. That's a pretty huge number, right? So what does that tell us? It tells us that we need to, one, choose an amazing photo, that you shouldn't be lazy, right, about choosing a good photo. And then second, how do we make sure that we leverage the real estate on that ad image? We can summarize what the ad is about or what they're going to get, right? Use Snappa or Canva, some of those photo editing tools to just put a little bit of text on it. And then,
you know, Travis, I want to point one thing out because I see this time and time again, and everybody listening. I mean, I see people that are like boosting their post. They are posting like their MLS link, which is pulling the photo from the MLS, and they're not doing what you're saying. You know, you hit that so hard that photo is so important. Like, I don't care if you have to spend $5, you know, and have a professional touch up that photo. Like, if what Travis is saying, or I know what Travis is saying is true, so make sure that picture, even if you're posting and boosting, is just absolute top notch. It's that important. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I just wanted to point that out.
It needs to be said, because really, I mean, we're naturally, you know, looking at, if we come back from like the primitive thought of hieroglyphics and storytelling and photos, right, and emojis, we gravitate towards images because they tell the story so well. And if you have a great image, use it, really leverage it. But also, if you want to, take advantage of it and add, you know, something on top of it that tells the brief story to summarize. So this says just listed, see all the photos, price, details instantly. Like you can look at that for just a nanosecond and you get what it is and what you're supposed to do next, right? There's not a lot of brain power that has to go into it. So part of the key thing I think a lot of people miss is action. So telling the people that the lead what action they should take next. So we have several different call to actions. You can't see all the ad copy up top here, but we have call to action on the very bottom. Then we say, on the photo, see all the photos, and then see all the photos now, check out this amazing home, learn more. Multiple call to actions, really hammering home the next step that they should take. Now, another thing, before we start running actual campaigns, targeting, if we have a great ad, we need to then back it up with really good targeting. We need to make sure our targeting is on point. So a lot of what we do is we will then create what we call a buyer or seller persona. And we used to do this a lot when we were selling, because I was in real estate for over 15 years, and we specialized in new construction developments. And we would do buyer personas about who was this product for, right? And who did it match? And then we would run campaigns based on it. Same thing here for Facebook. So meet Sarah, she's 34, she has 2 children, and she's married. She's recently visited sites like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. Sarah and her husband are interested in moving up to a bigger home. They want to own and they want to stop renting. They asked friends online about the best schools, where to buy. They're first-time home buyers, and they use Facebook Messenger to keep in touch with friends and family. They spend over an hour a day on the social network. Just kind of a little way that people do spend an average of 35 to 45 minutes a day on Facebook. And if you think about what are the top 4 apps in the world, the top most popular apps in the world, it's Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp. And you know who owns all of those? Facebook, right? So they have all this data that they aggregate from those. But with this buyer persona that we create, we then take that and we work with the end result in mind, right? Who are we truly going after? Who is this ad meant for? What are we trying to achieve? So inside of here, we're going to go through the ad manager. This is just a snapshot here, and I'll show you guys at the end of this a little bit more information about that. But we need to include who are people that match at least one of the following. So at the very top, we have behaviors, residential profiles. These are people that are likely to move. Their demographics, that these are first-time home buyers. So these are people that are most likely to become first-time home buyers. And once again, Facebook takes this data from credit companies, credit card companies, banks, different marketing companies, all of those things that they take into consideration of what are your habits and behaviors online, what are you shopping, where are you going, right? And they take that and start to build the predictive habits and basically say that these people are positioned to be first-time home buyers soon. And then demographics, married, then additional interest, first-time homebuyer grant. These are people that are interested in homebuyer grants. They've actually either looked at them online or commented them or read an article about it or liked a page or post about it. Realtor.com and Zillow. Reason I have those in is because we know that if people are starting to search on Zillow or Realtor.com, they're in that natural state, right, of starting to search and go through research and discovery. So this same thing, if they visited those sites or engaged with them, they're most likely people that are actively searching. So we're fishing further up the stream, right? We're looking at their actual life stages, behaviors, and habits and packaging that. And then also below, must also match at least one of the following. That they must match that they're renters and that they're parents. And why are we targeting people with kids, right? Well, we're targeting people with kids because we know that it might be a growing family. They want to move out of that apartment. It's only a 2-bedroom and there's 4, as a family, and they are looking to expand or get into the school district. So if we have a growing family and we know that they're searching on Realtor.com and they're likely to move and they're interested in buying a house, those are the people that we really want to show our ad to because it's going to be hyper relevant. Now, another thing on the far right side here, exclude. A lot of people forget to exclude. They only just add these interests, but they forget to exclude the people that are recent home buyers or recent mortgage borrowers, right? We don't want to show an ad about buying first-time buyer homes to people that have just closed on a home and they've been in their house for 90 days. It's not going to be relevant to them. It's just going to be annoying and it's going to hurt your relevant score. And then same thing, we're going to exclude homeowners. So what does that ad look like that we're going to show to them? Well, we put together a free list of homes for sale priced under $249,000. Check out these listings. Now, you notice that I mentioned the Denver area, because if we're actually targeting a specific area, we get a higher relevant score when we name the city versus not naming the city or the market. So that's going to be hyper relevant. It's going to increase our relevant score, so higher performance of the campaign. Perfect for first-time home buyers, and some of these homes even qualify for special financing programs. This ad copy is perfectly positioned to match the ad targeting, right? Think back to Bear, right? We're going into the relevance of making it hyper-relevant for those individuals. And then we have our call to action. Click here to view the homes priced under $249,000. So when you make sure that your ad copy and ad image is matching your targeting, sometimes we can get a little foggy on who should we be creating these ads for. Well, National Association of Realtors has this study, right, the report that they release every year. This is 2017, primary reason for selling your previous home. They have a massive amount of data that they've researched, interviewed people, took surveys, and you can see home is too small, right? For 36 and younger, 37% of those individuals sold their home based on their home was too small. So you can think of the different types of targeting and life stages that are based on that. Why would the home be too small? Well, they're a growing family. They have children. Want to move closer to friends and family. That's a targeting option. You can target people of friends that have recently moved. Job relocation, family situation, marriage, birth, divorce, moving due to retirement. We ran a campaign to people that were retired in Vancouver that liked AARP, that were baby boomers, and ran a campaign to them to get them to move to, I believe it was Bellingham, Washington, to downsize. So there's targeting options that are available. You just need to reference historical data and match the two of them. So I've referenced Facebook lead ads a couple times here. If you guys haven't experienced one or looked at it before, the first ad, the first phone here is showing you an actual Facebook lead ad. And then this Facebook lead ad, this is a slight variation of it, but this has generated about 700 leads in the past few months. And then when they go to the right here, when they click on the ad, it has the welcome form. Get instant access to all the price or all the photos, prices, and details. And it sucks out their email, pre-populates their email, name, and phone number right from their Facebook profile. So the conversion on these, the actual like converting and capturing leads, is really high. I mean, it's pretty easy. So once I hit submit, it goes to the next, which is you're all set, view the website, and then you can send them off to property search or IDX page, whatever it might be. So when you generate leads, there's going to be a cost per lead. There's going to be, it's going to identify, well, you're generating leads for $1.28 or $14. So I'm going to touch on a little bit of, I know people are focused on cost per lead, the lowest cost per lead. Is that always the best thing? Not necessarily. Everyone wants to get something for the least amount of money being put into it, but sometimes it's good to bid a little bit higher so you can get a higher quality lead that's further down towards the bottom of the funnel that's going to take specific action. So the cost per lead is something that I know that people are sensitive about. Sometimes they want to say, I can generate leads for 98 cents. Well, that's great, but are those leads quality? So there's quality within quantity. I won't get too deep into that today, but I just want to let people know that after generating over 50,000 leads, we see that sometimes the leads that are a little bit of a higher cost are going to be the leads that are actually the serious ones, because you're bidding higher up in the auction and generating leads that are actually closer to taking specific action. So a couple different things for us to go into about lead magnets. What else can you show people? Well, this is going after homeowners that are going to be buyers. There's an amazing amount of inquiries about how to generate seller leads, right? And I know home valuations and some of those things are kind of beaten to death a little bit. They still work, but targeting growing families is a great way to show them if they need a bigger home, right? Relevant ad copy and going after homeowners that have a growing family, because sellers are typically buyers first. Then first-time home buyer seminars. This is campaigns that we've run before where we've generated lots of buyer leads for first-time home buyer seminars. So if you guys are thinking about doing that, they are a great way to really build your pipeline, get people in the seats live to actually learn from you, a mortgage lender, and whoever else about first-time home buyer seminars. And then market reports. So we've seen this to be really successful, where you can actually deliver some sort of PDF or drive them to market report that they can download. And let's say you can upload that to LionDesk and be able to send them market reports of all the homes that have sold, and you target homeowners that are likely to move within that area. Now, another strategy here that we've employed recently, which has been working really well for us, is lead generating towards the bottom of the funnel, but audience building at the top. So we work in full funnel type of things. So we have a tofu, this is our top of funnel ad, driving traffic to a property search website, either just listed or see all the homes that are available for sale in this market. Not lead generating on the website, just driving traffic to it, just building a massive amount of audience, right? Sending like 3,000 people to that web page, retargeting them with a Facebook pixel within a Facebook lead ad saying, see all the detached homes for sale, download all the list of homes available priced at this, and then you use a Facebook lead ad. LionDesk kicks off the text, email campaign, and then you just rinse and repeat.
So once I gotta stop there for a second. Can you go back to that slide? So for the people that don't know, right, the retargeting pixel. I'm sure all of you guys have been on the web and you've looked at something. You've either been on a website or you were on Amazon. Amazon is king at this, right? You looked at a pair of shoes or you looked at a bag or whatever it winds up being, and then all of a sudden that's just appearing magically everywhere, right? That's what he's talking about with this retargeting pixel, which I think is just such a huge undervalued opportunity right now. Because if you can get them to click on something of value, even though they might not be ready, then you can continuously build brand and be in front of them by utilizing this retargeting pixel, narrowing down more so on your potential specific target. So for those of you who don't know, that's really what that is, and that's a gold mine right now.
Exactly. There's so we build full funnels that typically have about anywhere from 12 to 20 different retargeting ads, and those ads are dripped out in a delayed sequence that really take people through an indoctrination type of process and position that real estate agent of either it's reviews or it's then reciprocity of bringing them back to the blog, whatever it might be. Retargeting, there's a stat like 89% of marketers use retargeting to basically for one, brand awareness, and then lead generation to bring those people back. Because think about this, 40% of all traffic will abandon your website in the first 2 to 3 seconds. So if you have a Facebook pixel on there, that's great. You can then capture those people, put them into a custom audience, and retarget them. If you don't have a Facebook pixel, you've lost that traffic, right? And most people need to be reminded, and Facebook calls it priming and reminding. This is the exact strategy of priming and reminding. So it's a full methodology. It's great to use, as Randy mentioned. You guys really should be leveraging it. And I do have a free video that goes over how to install one and do that. So if you guys want to check that out, let me know. So to kind of recap, we need to strive for a higher click-through rate to get a higher relevance. So kind of a key rule of thumb here, if you want to get a higher relevance score to make sure your campaign is operating at the highest level, try to get a higher click-through rate, doing all the things that we talked about. And a higher relevance score is going to equal better campaign results for you guys. And then I'll leave you with some kind of cool ad copy that we've created in the agency here. These are different types of ads that we've used to be eye-catching and different. Facebook really likes different ad creative. Do you have to have something that looks like this? No, not necessarily. You can have beautiful images that you can create and create some basic overlays with just a short call to action on them. You don't have to get too fancy. You just have to be a little bit creative and have some really nice images out there. All right, now I'm going to take you guys inside the ad manager. Do we have time for that, Randy?
Yeah, let's spend 5 minutes there.
Okay.
And I know that you have some other videos, and at the end of the webinar, we're going to tell people where they can go to see some of your other videos that you've done, which I think are fantastic, actually walking them through some of those things.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is the ad manager. And just to kind of do a brief little overview of when you first start to create a campaign, you're going to be inside of your ad manager and try and choose an objective. Over here is awareness, brand awareness, reach. This is consideration and conversion campaigns over here. The difference between the two of these is that these are CPM. These are based on CPM, cost per thousand impressions, meaning that it's really just about getting the most amount of eyeballs on those ads. It's all solely based on impressions. Impressions is getting people just to see the ad, not necessarily to take action, but just to see it. Consideration, traffic, all of these things here, this is based on OCPM. OCPM is optimized cost per thousand mile impressions, which really, in the layman terms, means it's tapping into the Facebook algorithm and going after who you're targeting and saying, we're going to find the people that in this audience that are most likely, based on their data, to take specific action on your ad and meet your goals of what you want them to do. So for this, we would choose lead generation. And I'm going to kind of go through quickly here, guys, because I don't want to spend too much time on this, because the biggest part of the lead generation is converting those leads. And so Randy has some awesome stuff to show you guys. But one of the things that I see people kind of make a mistake on is that they might choose everyone in this location instead of choosing people who live in this location. When you choose everyone, you're choosing people that recently traveled through, right? Someone that just went through the Starbucks in that neighborhood and just passed by on their way to their house about 25 miles east. People traveling through the location whose home is 125 miles away. So that might be someone traveling from Canada on their way to California, and they just kind of cruised through your town. So if you want to show, for lead generation, we really try and focus on people whose home is selected within the area. And typically, what we'll try and choose is a 12-mile radius. So you can actually dial in an address and say 12-mile radius. Reason we say 12 miles for us is because statistically, people move within a 12-mile radius of where their previous home was.
Hey, so Travis, if you're farming, right? Like I had a great conversation yesterday with a top agent, and she specifically is farming a very small, like 2,000 home area. That's all she does. She crushes it, 50-something deals a year, whatever. Like, is that a good way to target that neighborhood?
Doing it like this, yeah, totally. So you could actually type in. I'm going to choose a random address here. 1304 Leaden, Albuquerque. We can zero in on that exact home, down to a 1-mile radius of that property. Let's say we're going to target the downtown Albuquerque or the country club area. Let's say I want to target the country club area because there's homes in there that are around $1 million to $3 million. So I want to drop a pin here and kind of laser in on that. So yeah, definitely you can do that. And you can also then start to exclude some of the areas. So let's say I don't want people in the Reynolds edition right here to see that ad. So what I might do is go in and then exclude that location. And then, and kind of play with the targeting there, right? Excluding certain parameters around it. But yeah, this is a great way to really dial in on the exact neighborhoods, the exact places that you want to target.
I just don't think that people realize. I hope this is putting this whole platform into perspective for you guys, because I don't think that the majority of people out there are doing 95% of what Travis is showing, which means there's a huge opportunity to get ahead. And for those of you who don't know how to do this, we all start out not knowing how to do a lot of stuff.
Right.
We can learn it. You know what I mean? Like you can learn this stuff and the
Yeah.
power, country club, how awesome. Like be the ambassador for that country club. Like every time people are there,
Right.
like, I mean, what a way to build face and brand, especially if you're a realtor who likes to put their face on everything. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
huge.
Well, incentives, what we'll do is we'll find a new construction development. Let's say we might have a new construction development in Alvarado Gardens, and we can drop a pin on that. And then what we would do is get it down to, let's say, about a 3-mile radius. And then we would say people recently in this location. So what we're doing is we're piggybacking on people, basically all the people that are going to see the homes in that new construction development, right? So if they're looking at homes and driving through, and then they see an ad that says, hey, download a list of all the new construction homes that you can buy with only $15,000 down, we're piggybacking on other people's developments. So, there's opportunities in so many different places here. You can add addresses in bulk. So you can just, let's say, upload a bunch of addresses here down to a mile radius and match all the locations. So you show your ads to all those people in there. I might be getting a little off track. So
no, I love it. I mean, hacking it is incredible, right? Like you're showing people how to, thrive off of other traffic that's already going on, that's being created by other people. I mean, that's fantastic.
Exactly. So I'm gonna try and knock out a Facebook lead ad for you guys real quick here. So this is the ad format where we can choose. We typically get a higher click-through rate on carousel ads, so you can click on that to choose multiple images, which is a nice option there. But also we have success with just a single image. But for this one, I'm gonna see if I can switch it up just a little bit for you guys and see if we can browse the library real quick here. So I'll upload this one, and then I would take my text from Creative Hub. So I create a lot of my ads in Creative Hub. This is where you can design ads and mock-ups here. Let's see if I can knock this out. Okay, and then I'm going to take our call to action, which is see all the homes for sale in Denver. Remember, we want to make sure we have that strong call to action there. And then a little trick here that I'm going to do, if you're short on time and you want to keep the ad copy really consistent, what we'll do is go down. So this is what the ad looks like. I'm going to create a new form. And in here, we'll just call this, for now, I'll just call this Lion Desk so I know what we're doing. I like to go to settings and open this. So if it's shared with anyone, that you can get some of that viral traffic from it, right? That they can go through. So you can choose to either have more volume or higher intent. When you add higher intent, it just adds a review screen right here where they have to review their information and say, yes, I want to actually send my information over. It's just another way to kind of qualify leads that actually want the information. They can go through that step. But for this, I'm going to go and say more volume. And then intro right here, I'm going to drop in the ad copy that we used already. And then in the headline, you can just say, see all the homes for sale in Denver. And then from there, questions, you can add another headline here, and then first name, last name, phone number. If you wanted to ask more questions, we could do that here and add multiple choice. But for now, keep it simple. Just going to leave that. We do need a privacy policy for us to run it. And then this is where you would drop in the link that would send people over to what you're promising them, right? Where you're delivering that. And then change some of those things there. But that's what the ad would look like. And then you would just hit finish. And then once you do that, then it's basically set up in Facebook. You launch the campaign. Now, the most critical thing from this, and we've generated a lot of leads. So I speak from experience here. The biggest thing that we see in terms of conversion with Facebook leads is using automated tools that send out text messages. Text messages are where leads mostly convert. Now think about this. They're on the mobile news feed and they're looking at this ad. They end up going through it. They become a lead. They're on the website looking at the homes that you promised them. And then from there, they get a text message within 3 to 5 minutes later while they're still looking at homes. They're in the moment right there. They're engaged. That's the perfect time to convert that prospect. So I'm going to hand it over to Randy, and he's going to show us exactly how to get some of those tools set up and leveraged. Let's see if I can stop sharing mine. All right.
Show my screen. Okay. All right, you guys. If we were all in a room, I'd say everybody give Travis a round of applause, because that was absolutely amazing and definitely pure gold and opportunity right now. So Travis, thanks for going in depth on some of the stuff. And remember, you guys, when you're utilizing things like Facebook lead ads, you're pulling people's actual Facebook profile information, so their first name and their email, and then from there, what is it that you do with them, right? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. So now that we're talking about lead generation, more importantly than lead generation is how do you convert the leads once you got them? Because I mean, the studies show that people just aren't following up with these leads. So today I'm going to walk you through how to convert them, and I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I possibly can so we have some time at the end. But again, I want to address the elephant in the room, right? Over 70% of these leads that are actually being generated never even get a first phone call. And this is true for portals or other places that you can buy leads from. Just these leads are not getting contacted. So if you do want to get ahead of the competition, make sure that you're following up with them. So it says over 70% of online leads never get a first email call or text message, and 40% never get a second or a third, right? So you have all of these opportunities to actually potentially reach out. And like Travis said, text messages, right? Like text messages, they're on their phone. If you can respond to them within the first minute, you're certainly going to have a much better chance of actually getting them right there on the spot. So that's really important. And without having an automated system in place, it can be challenging because you're at showings and you're at family events and all of these different things, and you don't know when these leads are going to come in, right? So you want a way to do that, and that's kind of what we're going to cover today as far as doing that, right? So there is no excuses. Like, you just have to follow up with them. You're spending that, and if you want to win, right, you have to follow up more, okay? So important factors of converting leads quicker, right? Again, speed to lead. Here are some fun little facts here. Lead conversion are 391% higher if you call them within the first minute. Waiting an additional 120, right, or it drops by about 120%, right? So it's constantly going down and down, where most people just gather these leads and they like send them random newsletters, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. So make sure that you're getting to, I don't know what just happened. Make sure you're getting to these leads as quickly as possible. And people's attention spans are short. So if they just filled out your lead ad, right, because they want more information, in about 30 seconds, they're going to be looking at cat videos and other pictures because they're scrolling through their feed. So the faster that you can do that and get in touch with them, the better, because you're still staying top of mind, okay? Next is how to follow up, right? So what mediums or what methods can you use to follow up better, right? So the phone is certainly one of them, right? Email, text messages, instant message is a huge one right now as well. But just think about this, like from emailing, so many people are stuck on emailing, and that's why I said, be done with the old email newsletters. We all have probably hundreds of emails that are unread in our inbox, and we have newsletters that have never been read, right? And if we think about this as ourself, right, us, how we actually are operating, how many text messages do we have that are unread? Most of us have none. I mean, it has like a 97% open rate, and most of those text messages are read within the first 5 minutes, right? Most of the time, it's actually even before that. So when you're thinking about how you want to reach people, I'm not saying that email is dead, not by a long shot, but there's just a better response rate when you're using things like text messaging and instant messaging and then phone call. And then I think email. Like if I were doing it, that would be the plan that I would deploy, right? And be persistent. Like that's another thing. The third text seems to convert the best. So we at LionDesk are obviously, a platform or a CRM platform, and we're able to see some of these things. And just a few weeks ago, we were traveling, and a woman came up and like grabbed us from behind because we had our LionDesk stuff, and she's like, LionDesk absolutely saved me in this business. And we were like, what the heck? How is that even possible? Like what happened? She says, well, I was buying leads and then I just wasn't able to convert them because I was trying to do it myself and yada, yada, yada. And I created inside LionDesk, I created a text drip campaign that was automatically going out. And we were like, okay. And she says, it was the third text message that I was getting like a 40 and a 50 and a 60% response rate from that actual message. And I was like, well, what did it say? And it was like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you, but you filled out some information. I just wanted to make sure that you have everything. So it was almost like a guilt text. And we started thinking about it and talking, and she's like, I just think that other agents stopped texting or calling or emailing, right? Because if she gave, she was getting leads, maybe those leads were also going to other places. I'm not going to say where she got the leads, but people just stopped. And because she was persistent, it was that third text message for her that was really money and that was really converting well. So think about how you communicate and then duplicate that when you want to reach out. Like when people get in touch with you, how does it work? And then from there, kind of copy that method. So where automation comes into play, right? Automation can help any business operate in a more efficient manner, right? Like automation has been created to leverage time, and we're not getting any more time. So there's a lot of things, especially when you're using strategies like Travis's, where you can be generating low cost, high quality leads, and you can be doing more appointments and doing that. But as more leads keep coming in, right, that pile of work keeps loading up. So if you can deploy some type of automation behind it, it can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you guys. As example, following up with people, reminders, marketing, reporting, routing leads. So if you're part of a team, right, like that's a great way to make sure that the leads are going to the right people. Overall management, right, double entry, tasking. So all of these things can be automated. So as an example, just double entry. Like if you were just using Facebook for lead ads, you could then, as leads are created, you would then download an Excel spreadsheet, and Travis will tell you that, right? Like that's where they kind of go, all of your leads. And, are you going to be downloading that list every 5 minutes, right? So that you can get to those leads quickly? No. So by connecting with a platform like LionDesk, it eliminates that double entry. So leads literally come in through Facebook. They're automatically connected now via LionDesk. And then from there, based upon different types of campaigns that you're running, right, specifically to those campaigns, you can be deploying automated campaigns that are automatically reaching these people for you. So automation is key. And once you guys understand leveraging automation, leveraging potentially people to help you with this stuff, it's really going to free you up so that you can stay focused on money-making activity. So saying hello to the solution is the new LionDesk lead ads connection. So now, whereas before we were using things like Zapier to connect, you're able to directly connect your Facebook ad platform to LionDesk so that your leads are automatically coming in, being followed up. And again, you're staying focused on what matters. So it just eliminates an extra 2 or 3 steps that you would have had to do. And it also eliminates you having to constantly race to the phone to furiously text somebody while you're literally in the middle of dinner with your family. And I don't know if you guys have ever done that and you guys get shunned. I tend to do that when things come in. It's just a really nice way to kind of like set it and forget it and make sure that your leads are actually being followed up with. So this is the new tab inside of LionDesk in our settings section. And this is actually where you connect it, right? So you're going to be in the settings section. For those of you who are on the call who are LionDesk users, this is where you're going to connect it. For any of those or any of you who are not LionDesk users, if you were, this is what you would see. And Travis was showing you guys how you can be running different lead ads, right? So you're actually able to connect unique lead ads to unique campaigns inside of LionDesk. So if you're running a buyer download sheet, right? You're going to have a buyer download sheet that then automatically triggers inside of LionDesk to start John Smith on the buyer lead campaign, right? So that they're getting consistent messaging from the very beginning, from the time that they saw that ad, from the time they clicked on it, said yes, to the delivery that you're actually providing. Okay.
And this saves so much time, guys. This is like one of those things where we've set up a lot of different ads, and this it saves. It can be probably cuts off like 25 minutes, 30 minutes for us, which is, your time is valuable. So like this whole setup that you guys just rolled out in LionDesk is awesome for us. I love it.
Yeah. We don't want, at LionDesk, we don't want to create everything, right? We want to provide the very best sales and marketing and automation tools that we can. But our goal, more importantly, is to connect to other third-party best-in-class services to give you or the agents the ability to choose what works for them, right? Different transaction management, different lead management, different lead, right? All these different things. We want to connect to them. And Facebook is so important. It absolutely is so important right now. So moving on from there, we're going to do a quick little video. This is step by step with our CEO, David Anderson. He couldn't join us today, but he did an amazing job. It's a quick video actually showing you how to connect from what Travis showed you, how to setting up those lead ads, to what actually needs to be done inside of LionDesk, and it's pretty quick.
So Randy, for most people that haven't done any kind of integration with a Facebook lead ad before, um, this is one of those things where we use either Zapier or LeadsBridge, and it's an extra tool that you need, and you got to go through like all these different steps. But this is one of those where it's in the actual system, right? Where you're gonna be sending out the text and leads. So it just saves you like one extra step, which is for us one of those things that we really value.
Yeah. Just being able to pull that over and letting the information flow back and forth freely so that you can trigger campaigns is so important, because that's the automation piece. Like lead generation can be done at scale, and so can the follow-up. It's just connecting those two so that it works like a machine is really where that power, that's where that leverage comes in, that foundation.
Right.
So again, going back to what Travis was talking about, we're generating leads based upon specific things. You want to be able to deploy campaigns automatically around whatever it is that you're marketing. And that campaign can be all kinds of different things. It can be created however it is that you want. So that is the process. Connecting your Facebook account to LionDesk, configure your settings, identifying your lead sources, right? So what type of ads that you're running. And then from there, having a drip campaign that can automatically follow up with those leads so that you don't have to. That's the whole thing about what today's webinar is and what we're actually trying to do. And I mean, we've already helped and are working with well over 10,000 actual real estate agents, teams, brokers. We just rolled out a new broker platform as well. And all of them, or a good majority of them, are utilizing our platform for automation in one way or another to help follow up with leads, to help convert people better, right? So one thing I certainly do want to talk about is utilizing a blended campaign. And this is one thing that we find a lot of agents aren't doing. So when you're creating a campaign, and this can be with your sphere of influence, this can be with past customers, this can be with Facebook, it's utilizing a blended campaign. And what a blended campaign is it's multiple different ways to reach out to one specific person that's all automated, right? So it's a combination of text messages, video emails, video text messages, regular emails, phone calls, and retargeting, right? So if you have people inside of your funnels, right, by reaching out to them with all of these different mediums, they're bound to open it one way or another. Whereas the mass majority of the agents that we talk to, all they're really doing is sending emails, right? And then we're like, well, what's your open rate? And they're like, it's, it's 0.05% or whatever. So they're sending out thousands of emails that never even get opened. So we're like, well, why don't you start sending those people text messages? And then they call us back and they're like, oh my God, I'm getting great. And I'm like, all right, why don't you start sending video text messages, right? All of these things you can do from within our application so that literally when you're sending a video text right after you get a Facebook buyer lead, it could be your face and it can be authentic and value add. And you could say, hey, I noticed that you just downloaded the buyer's guide, right? Or hey, it's Randy, you just downloaded the buyer's guide. If you have any more questions, just respond to me via text, right? And I can answer anything that you want. That's all done automatically, right? All of these things can be done and can be triggered within it. So if you're gonna do anything, maybe you're not gonna generate Facebook leads or you're not gonna do this, like start sending more text messages, right? And just see what that does. Like these little tiny things that you can deploy and implement are going to have a huge improvement and play the long game here, right? Like you don't have to do all of this today, right? Like this week we're going to do this, next week we're going to do this, and you're going to slowly start developing, building, and adding these different elements in that are just going to help you in the long run. Because once you have this stuff built, it's a robot. It can work for you forever. So let's review some quick little outreach concepts. That blended campaign is really important, right? So here's some examples of different text messages that you might want to use and different emails and how to space them out, right? Like, I mean, I think sending somebody a text 3 days in a row when the first time that they do it, I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? As long as you're not pestering them, right? There's a difference between pestering, annoying, and being persistent, right? People get busy, there's other things going on. So having a multi-touch campaign over the first 7 to 10 days is going to be crucial. So if you're hitting them with text messages and some of these emails, it's just certainly going to improve the overall potential of those conversions, right? And when you're writing emails, again, I'm not a big fan of the newsletters. Just keep in mind the 4 U's, which are usefulness, urgent, unique, and ultra specific. Again, usefulness, urgent, unique, and ultra specific. or useful, urgent, unique. Anyway, making sure that you're giving people value in email versus just like regurgitated market data, right? People will read your emails if there's something specifically in there that is appealing to them that's less generic. So subject lines are super important. Keeping track of your numbers and knowing your outcome to scale is another thing that I think that you're going to get with a combination of using Travis's training today and mine, is keeping track of everything so that you can scale. So if you're generating leads, right, for let's just say $3.16, and you generated 63 buyer leads and it ended up at 6 appointments and 2 closings, you can gauge an ROI, right? So many agents aren't keeping track of their ROI based upon their campaigns. It's crazy. Like they're like, I'm doing, radio ads and I'm doing print and I'm sending out farm letter, and they're not keeping track of any of this stuff. So the better that you can keep track of it by keeping it really well organized is going to help you in the long run. Because if this is the actual formula based upon $3.16, based upon what your commission was, you're going to know my ROI was X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to double down on this whole Facebook thing, right? Because it's working. Plus you're getting all these additional leads. The 63 buyer leads as an example, not everybody's ready to buy today, right? People don't buy homes like they buy cups of coffee. So you bought these leads, they're yours forever. They're not going to change their name more than likely, and they're not going to change their email account that's connected to their Facebook, right? So like you can constantly be marketing to these people. So not only gauging the immediate, but gauging again the long game of it. So as an aggregate, all these Facebook leads over the course of 18 months, this is our conversion ratio, this is our ROI, this is a good deal right now. It's kind of like going back 50, Travis, don't you wish we could go back 15 years and buy like Google PPC for our specific market, like Dallas, Texas homes for sale? 15 years ago, or not even 10 years ago, we could have bought that on PPC for like a penny a click. Now what are they?
Right.
Probably $10 a click, right?
Yeah.
So if now is that opportunity, get as many leads as you guys possibly can while the getting's good, because as more competition gets into the game, price will go up. Travis will tell you he's been in the business a long time. I mean, what have you seen prices go up a couple bucks already in the last year?
Yeah, I remember when it used to be, like 10 cents per click. And we were generating leads last year for 90 cents to $1.20, and now some of the same leads are $2 to $3. It's it increases. It's a competitive game. Yep. I
mean, I remember when you could first start buying like Zillow leads and Realtor.com leads. They were like 50 cents. Right. Now I look at them and it's like $27, and they sold it to 16 people. You're like, what the heck? It's crazy. So again, as competition picks up and it gets more fierce, price goes up. So get it while it's good and automate that. Putting LionDesk to work for you. LionDesk is a powerful tool that has a ton of sales and marketing features that can help you, right? But you need to learn how to use these tools. If I give you tools and you don't actually learn how to use them, right, and master them, they're not going to be the greatest of tools. And that's the same thing with what Travis was showing you, right? Like with the Facebook stuff. If you don't learn how to do that, or find somebody that that can do it for you, or pay a guy like Travis to do it for you, like you're not going to have the greatest results. You're going to be like, oh, Facebook doesn't work, even though it's working for thousands of people, right? Same thing goes true with LionDesk. And whether it's LionDesk or not, finding the right system, the right lead generation platforms that work for you is what's important, because all of us are wired differently. Some of us don't have patience, right? And maybe sending out postcards is what you do. You got your groove, you close 100 deals a year, it works, right? And you don't want to go beyond that. That's great, you found it. But a lot of people out there haven't. So pick and choose the platforms and the systems and the programs that are going to work for you. Commit to them, right, long term, and execute, and you will have success with them, right? And the best platform is the one that you actually use. I talk to a lot of people, they get signed up for programs and they get into coaching, and then like, well, what did you do? And they're like, oh, I haven't done anything yet. And like, I signed up 6 months ago. Like, that's the wrong thing. Cut something else out of your day, save an extra, 10, 15 minutes and start learning some of this other stuff. So where you can find us. So for those of you who are on the call, you can find us at liondesk.com. Sorry about that. You can find us at liondesk.com. We have a 30-day money-back free trial, no credit card. The LionDesk is $25 a month. And we do have a special code. If you utilize Lion12, you can get LionDesk for an entire year for $225. So video emailing and text messaging and all the stuff that we do, you're going to get that for $225. And Travis, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on travisthom.com is main website for us. So last name is spelled THOM, so travisthom.com. Lots of free training videos, different things there. We do provide in-depth coaching and training. So we have over 120 different training videos. We have some weekly support calls. Every Monday and every Thursday, we have calls with me and my team and anyone that wants to join in there. We go through your ad campaign strategies. And the coolest thing that I really love about our program, our coaching training program, is that you guys, if you're with us, you get direct access to my graphic design team and my agency. So you can order unlimited ads. They crank out really beautiful ads. And I think so far we've done something like 180 ads already, and we just rolled that out recently for everyone to access. So we're constantly, innovating with new strategies. What we learn in our marketing agency from lead generation across the globe is what we teach inside of our training and Facebook program. So we'd love to have you guys join us if you are thinking about diving into it. Please check us out. So travisthom.com is where you can check us out under services, and you can get all the information from there. Do we have time for Q&A or just a couple questions?
Yeah, we got some questions here. Looks like we got some people with sound issues. Let's see here. Oh my God, a real estate focused webinar that actually provides meat and substance, not just a vague overview. Thank you.
There's a lot of
yeah. Can I get a copy of the recording? Yes, we are recording today's webinar, and we will. Travis, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yes, we are recording this, and we can send this out to everybody. Let's see what else we got here. I currently use listings to leads. Please explain why I should use a program like Travis's.
Sure. So our program, well, it's Facebook coaching and training from myself and my team. So I'm a Facebook marketing strategist. I actually run campaigns as an agency. So we have clients that, run campaigns that they're spending $10,000 a month, $25,000 a month. We actually have real life experience in running these campaigns. And what you're finding with some other types of programs out there is that they're very stripped down and limited. If they're integrated into a platform, they might not have the insight and tool sets to really truly understand what's working now, and really understanding strategies, right? What are the best strategies? Facebook is a great place to deploy different types of things like Facebook Messenger chatbots. We use that for lead generation. We do agent recruitment campaigns. We use different types of Facebook lead ads and different hacks with them, advanced retargeting strategies. So, with those, you're from us, you're really learning things that actually work in the now, and things that we have spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on, instead of theory, or just whittling it down to 3 to 4 different options and saying, this works for you, go for it. You know, we don't teach about boosting posts. We actually teach real nitty-gritty stuff. What I showed you guys today is pretty basic. You know, this is not really hardcore stuff. We go into a lot more in-depth, advanced strategies inside of our training. So we have people that are actually this past Monday, I had one of our clients say he just put 3 new investors in escrow, and they're closing pretty soon. And those are leads he generated from a campaign that he launched about 40 days ago, attracting investors for homes that needed to be fixed and flipped. So we actually have a support crew that goes through and audits your campaigns. So that way you're not just going through training videos and going, oh, I hope I did it right? And then you're kind of left out in the dust. We have myself and my ad manager, my creative copywriter, our graphic designer, our operations manager. We are here as your support crew to actually look at your campaigns and go through them and say, you know what, you're almost there, but we need to tweak a few different things. Or, you know what would be awesome is if we created this secondary strategy and did this, right? We can help you read the data. So hopefully that makes sense for you. So, and yeah, we're Elevated REM. And that's our Facebook agency and coaching program. We do, you know, so anything else that you see out there, you know, just really put some research behind it and really see, is it right for you?
Gotcha. Somebody else said a Facebook, and we'll get through a couple of these, and you guys, if some of you guys got to go, we get it. But I do want to try to get to a few of these. A Facebook person told me today that slideshow option for the ad works better than carousel or a single image. What would you say to that?
Well, is that for lead generation, or is that for brand awareness? What's the objective and goal?
I don't think that it says anything more than that.
Okay. Yes, slideshow is nice, but sometimes when you have a slideshow or a video running, if it's longer than a certain amount of seconds, the conversion rate can dip drastically because you're asking people to do 2 things at once. You're asking them to watch a video and click on the ad to move forward. And so we've seen sometimes videos with lead ads, unless they're very specific and really hammering on the call to action, your conversion rate can take a dive on the Facebook lead ad. If you're using it for video views or just for engagement, then that's great. Yeah, we do slideshows or little videos where we run that as a top of funnel campaign, and we will then build what we call audience building. So we'll retarget anybody that watched 25% of that slideshow or 25% of that video. We'll retarget them with a secondary campaign.
Gotcha.
So it just depends on what your objective is. It's hard to see exactly because, or hard to say unless I truly know the absolute objective. Otherwise, it's too broad.
Somebody was talking about the tracking pixel. It looks like we had some. Looks like we had some people's audio that didn't work for the video, which is okay. Another person wanted to know, do you have like a YouTube channel where you go over like the pixel stuff, or is that on your Facebook page?
Yeah, that's on my face. A lot of it's on my Facebook page. So just Travis Thom, and then the guy that looks like me. It has a lot of things about Facebook marketing on it. Go there. There is a YouTube channel. I think there's 2 different YouTube channels, but just look up Travis Thom and in Facebook, and you'll probably find those.
Got it. Cool. I think that's all we have time for today. Again, you guys, I wanted to thank you all for your time. We appreciated it. We had a couple technical difficulties. We were trying to run the thing too. So again, thank you. We will send the recording out to everybody. We did max out, so we got a bunch of people to send it to, and I'll try to get into some of the questions, and I'll fire Travis some of the questions that were asked to him, and then I can answer any of the questions that were asked about LionDesk. So again, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you got a couple good things from this that you can utilize. And again, we're very appreciative of you taking well over an hour today with us. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Randy. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.